Hello Duelist, it's Tombox here. Welcome to MST.TV, and this is a video requested by you guys, a deck profile that you guys wanted me to update, so I am updating the deck profile for you guys, which is the Draco Pendulum 2.0. Back when we had the Electrum announced, I did the video on YGO Pro, and I showed you guys how to put a board full of counter trap negations, which is much more difficult to get rid of, since even though they get rid of your monsters, it still means that your opponent is stuck under various negations. And to update that deck was very difficult because they took away all the Skull Combat Jokers, which made it very difficult to play. Your deck is much less consistent overall, and I actually had to merge it with Pendulum Magician. So I'm just going to call this Draco Pendulum and see how you guys like it. It still runs Ariadne, still runs all the counter trap shenanigans. So, you know what, without further ado, let's go into the deck list and I'll show you guys two combos that you can do with this deck. That basically offers you the same amount of negations, except that your negations are much more generic. I mean, monster spells and traps, and then you have a spell trap, and perhaps one more monster spells and trap. So you get 4 negations or so, and yeah, your opponent's gonna have a pretty fun time trying to clear your board. So let's start off with things that are kind of different. Of course, we're running triple Ariadne. This card, you want to see at least one when you open your hand. If you don't see one in your hand, then you're going to hope that you already have an Astrograph in hand, and you'll see that in the combo why you want 3 of these. It's because you're going to be blowing 2 of them up, and you're going to be searching them, your 2 counter traps from the popping of these cards. And as the Draco part of the deck, we are running a pair of Luster Pendulum. I think this card is very necessary. If you open, of course, like this, you're already off to a very good start, but you're not always going to get there. But if you do open with Luster, it is actually a very good card to open with, thanks to the fact that if you pop a card with Luster and you already have an Astrograph in hand, then who cares? If your opponent counters you and pops it with a Ghost Ogre, then you can use your Astrograph to get back your Luster and continue your popping. Basically, they burned their Astrograph, they burned off their Ghost Ogre so that they cannot use it on your Electrum. That's basically what it means. So, you know what, let's keep going. So that's the Draco side, and I guess now to the basic stuff. We have a pair of King Gate 0. I originally only ran 1, but then I realized drawing this card sucks when that happens, so I ran a pair. And also you can pop off one of your Gate 0s so that you can actually search another one with your Astrograph, and it is also level 7, which gives you access to your Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, which then you can turn into a Vortex. Of course, triple Dark Worm, nothing to talk about there, your free plus, and of course the Astrograph engine, and on top of that we also have our Chronograph engine. All the same there, there's no explanations here. Of course, you want to put 2 of these on the field. If you put 2 of these on the field, of course you get yourself the Axis, the Naruto Axis, and if you put 2 of these on the field, or 2 level 7s on the field, you get the Absolute Dragon. Then to the rest of the engine, which is basically the same as everyone else, triple Harmonizing. You want to get Harmonizing to your hand as soon as you can, because it does offer you an additional summon, especially when you don't have all your level 6s, because you want the Naruto on board. And along with all the other magicians, we also have triple Purple Poison, your outs to the anti-spells and all the other problem cards that are face up. Triple Black Fang, because high scale. High scale was an issue when I played it pure without the magicians. When I played it pure, just take out all the magicians and switch in with other speedier cards. The problem was when I played the Draco Face-Off variant, I couldn't get my level 6s and 7s out onto the field, and that's why I switched back to this engine. And I run a pair of Ove Dragon. You might be wondering, why aren't there any Wisdom Eye Magician? It's just because I actually had to cut them out. That's the only reason. And since people are able to play the deck without the entire engine of Ove Dragons and Wisdom Eye, or just play pure Dark, I decided to cut the Wisdom Eye because I actually still needed the Ove Dragon to be summoned out through Harmonizing. So in this deck, because we have Lusters, we want to search the Lusters. We have Duelist Alliance. That's basically all it can search, but you want to get there. You want to get there. Wavering Eyes, a pair of them. Very nice if you open this with Ariadne. If you open with Ariadne, all it means is you're going to get yourself the search of the Astrograph Sorcerer, and on top of that, you're going to get yourself a new copy of Ariadne, and you're going to get yourself a nice counter trap search. 1 Foolish Burial and 2 Dragon Tread, and I think the only purpose of these guys are the Dark Worms, and this one could be a Spellcaster if you have a Black Fang in the Gray access already. And my counter trap lineup, I have 2 Ultimate Providence, a Solemn Warning, and a Solemn Judgment. That's my counter trap lineup. Usually the first search looks like this. You offer them these 3. And because you're already going to be adding yourself another copy of Ariadne, these are generic negations that have 0 cost. Unless they somehow find a way to pop off your Ariadne, I say good luck, because you have all-round negation, and there's nothing that can just eat your scale for free. And the second search is you throw Warning in there. So either you stun their summon, or you stun everything, or you can stun monster effects as well, or you just stun all forms of summoning. So you don't really give them a really good choice. Most people will give you 2 Ultimate Providence, but then once they realize there's a problem, they usually give you the Warning, so you might get 1 of each, or 1 of these. Only a person that is not very smart would give you the Solemn Judgment. That is literally the worst search. But if your first search you give your opponent this, they should anticipate that you already have a Solemn Judgment in hand, because this really doesn't give them very many options. Alright, so that basically covers the main deck. The extra deck here, Odd Eyes Vortex, because you need the negation. Mainly you're making these 2 dudes, these 2. You're only making these 2 to hold the board. Aside from that, if you get a really good hand, you'll put both of them on board with a Decode Talker pointing upwards. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, 6 forms of negations anyway. But that's the optimal hand. It's very unlikely that you actually get that hand, because it's literally like having Exodia. But yeah, so these are the main 2. And then we have, this is my current lineup. Supreme King, Clear Wing. I just like to blow up the board and go for the aggressive play, especially against Pendulum decks. When they set up their whole board, you just make 1 of these and then you just blow up all the monsters and then you swing for game. The damage, I don't really care. Borlo, of course, is just a must run because it is a very good monster. Starving Venom as well, pretty decent. Baguska, some people are like, why are you running Baguska? He's not very good. You don't hold the board. People can just run it over with links. True, but then I don't let you combo, so there's that too. But then, in addition to Baguska, right now I'm trying out Evil Swarm Nightmare, flipping stuff face down, especially for people that kind of use the extra monster zone. When they summon, the Pendulum summon, booking that card face down means that they have no access to linking it off anymore, so that's a very good plus. Proxy Dragon just for a generic left-right arrow. Decode Talker, Electromite, Zephyr, Metaltron, Firewall. I'm considering switching this one to Skull Dread, just because Skull Dread's arrows point much better. It opens more zones. And of course 1 copy of Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. So that kind of covers up the entire extra deck. And you know what? I'm just going to show you guys the combo, because there's nothing really much I need to talk about aside from like what you can and cannot do with this deck. Okay, with this hand, I can actually create about 3, if I'm lucky and I'm sacking, and get 4 negations, but that really depends on the draw from Electromite. But without the draw from Electromite, I'm pretty sure I can get about 3 negations with this hand, even though I don't start with an Astrograph and I don't have like a Dark Worm for free. Everything here can set up to pretty nasty negations. You know what? I'm gonna get started with this combo, seeing that I already have the Chronograph Sorcerer and I have an Ariadne, and the Wavering Eyes, which is really good paired off with the Ariadne. You know what? Let's get this thing started. Starting off with scaling the Ariadne and scaling off. I need the purple poison for normal summon, so I'm gonna scale off the extra Chronograph Sorcerer. All like worst case scenario, I scale this and pop this for Time Gazer. But let's hold off until I actually need to do so. So we're going to go into Wavering Eyes now, pop the 2, and I'm just going to put them right here. And from here, we're going to get ourselves the... what's his face? You know, I actually sorted this here. We're going to get ourselves the Astrograph Sorcerer. Okay, so from here, we're going to activate Astrograph Sorcerer after they take the 500. And we're going to summon this out. But on top of that, we also get the Ariadne Search. So for the Ariadne Search, it's quite simple. You give them the choice of these 3. And most likely they're going to give you the Ultimate Providence. You can put these 2 away from now. And then, that's alright. This comes out, and then we get ourselves the Ariadne. And this usually gets added to hand from the previous search. I know I'm not doing this properly in chain links, but you guys kind of get the idea. And at this point here, you want to hold on to the Ariadne because you're going to pop it with the Electrum to get ourselves a second counter trap. So You could technically put the chronograph in there, but then you would have no scale. So I'm just gonna go with a purple poison summon, and I'm going to link them off into Electromite. Electromite effect, I'm going to toss a card into the extra deck. I want to make sure that I have enough cards when I pendulum summon to actually offer myself an additional negation. So if that's the case, I kind of want to get myself the extra Astrograph Sorcerer, because it just makes a lot more sense to do so. Next up, we have the Ariadne. So we're gonna put the Ariadne here, and this is actually gonna be a 3-link chain. We're gonna go into Electromite effect, pop the Ariadne, of course add the Astrograph Sorcerer, and this chain link is as follows: chain link 1, chain link 2, and chain link 3. Chain link 3 happens, we're gonna special summon this card out, and then we're gonna get ourselves that nice search. And let's see if I can find it right here. Alright, there's our search. Chain link 2, we're gonna get ourselves the counter traps. Let's see if I can dig it out. And there's 1, 2, and the third one is going to be the warning. So these are your 3. Most likely you're gonna get another copy of Ultimate Providence. So you know what? Let's take the Providence, and Electromite is gonna give us a draw. So I'm just gonna shuffle up to just see what we get. Maybe we can extend the combo further if we get ourselves a high scale. If we get an 8 scale, we're good to go. If we don't get an 8 scale, then we're not good. So we get an Oath Dragon. I don't think I'm gonna use Oath Dragon in this particular combo, except for the fact that I can actually pendulum summon him out later. So at this point, it doesn't exactly look like it's the most ideal thing. I have to scale 2 cards and I have to pendulum summon. Although I can put the Chronograph Sorcerer and pop it and give myself another Electromite, which is not too bad, but the issue here becomes that I need a high scale to actually pendulum summon, so I'm forced to actually search back the Chronograph Sorcerer. So I'm going to put the Ariadne on scale because Ariadne will definitely be on scale regardless, and I can just set these 2 right now because your opponent's going to know what it is anyway. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't make a big difference. Right now I can only pendulum 2 cards out, technically 3, but I think I actually have the negation because I actually drew a level 6. So I can actually put the Sorcerer right here, and I can just proceed to pendulum 3. So for the 3, I'm going to choose Chronograph Sorcerer. Actually, not Chronograph, Astrograph, and a Chronograph, and this guy. This part here becomes pretty basic at this point. I don't think I need to tell you guys what to do here. You guys know immediately to go into these 2. That lets you go into your Naruto. These 2, you're gonna go ahead and put them together. And this is why I said I kind of got sacky, is because I actually got the 4 negation, and then you go ahead and link these off all to the grave, and you get yourself a Decode Talker. And the effect of Absolute Dragon is going to activate, putting this card on the field. And there you have it. You have this board: Naruto, Spell Trap Monster, Spell Trap Monster, Spell Trap Monster, all forms of targeting negation. And that's the first board that you can establish with this. I know I'm kind of off camera trying to work on my desk here, but that's, I guess, the first combo. I got a little lucky because the card that was kind of sacky is that I drew this. What if I didn't draw this? If I didn't draw this, well, I might as well explain how that combo kind of ends up. This, if I didn't draw this, well, I just won't have as strong of a board. I'll be missing a Naruto, and I'll just have 1, 2, 3. Alright, this second hand is more, I think, a 3-card negation, especially without Wavering Eyes, and you still don't have the free card of getting a Dark Worm in the grave. If you get Dark Worm, that means Astrograph is going to have a much easier time going into a rank 7. But since I don't have it, I'm going to do what I can, and having Astrograph and Ariadne in alliance is kind of where this combo is stemming out from. So starting off with the very first play, putting the Ariadne on scale, and once you put Ariadne on scale, you can activate Duelist Alliance, and that is going to fetch you the Draco Slayer Luster. So if your opponent ashes you here, or not ash, but like if they ogre you, well, that's great. If they ogre you on the Luster activation, that's good. If they ash you on that, that's fine too, because that means you're basically free to do whatever you want. But let's actually continue the combo here. You're gonna go into Luster pop the Ariadne, and you're gonna get yourself a new Ariadne, and you're going to actually get even more stuff. So the first part here is this gets added to hand, and then you're going to trigger off 2 effects. One's actually a quick effect. First one is here, Chain Link 1, and then Chain Link 2. So now you have Chain Link 2, special summon, and add yourself another copy of Ariadne. And Chain Link 1, you're going to give him a choice of 3 counter traps. And the most likely they're going to give you an Ultimate Providence, because giving you Solemn Judgment is pretty bad. But here you go, you get these 2 to your hand, and look, seems like it's off to a really good start. You got a monster on board, and you're ready to go into like the pendulums. So, you know what, not too bad. Okay, well, let's move on to the combo. We gotta do ourselves a Link Summon. So we've got an extra Ariadne, except the point is you need to pop another Ariadne, so you have to summon another dude to actually get your first Link Summon. So you're gonna go with Purple Poison. Purple Poison, we're gonna link it off and get ourselves the Electromite. Electromite effect. At this point, I want to make sure that I can get a additional negation, so I'm actually going to put another copy of Astrograph in there so that I have 2 level 7s. So even though I don't have my 6s right now, at least I can do something about it in the near future. And now I'm going to pop off another Ariadne, but do I want to pop it off now, or do I want to pop it off after the fact of my Luster? Because the thing is, if I leave Luster here, I can't really get myself a high scale, high enough to actually summon out these 2. So that's the unfortunate part about having Luster here. So what I'm going to do is Electromite's effect. I'm going to pop off the Luster, and now I'm going to add back the Astrograph Sorcerer. Sorcerer effect, of course, we have this effect going off too. So Sorcerer, I'm going to special summon you. Get myself a search of a second Luster, and then I get to draw 1 card. Oh hey, could have used you much earlier, but you know what? You don't always get the cards you need. So these are the cards going to my hand, and this is on the field. I already normal summoned, so that is unfortunate. It's going to be a very difficult time trying to get a high scale. Lucky for me, I already have a high scale in this case, but if I have to burn a pendulum summon right away, make sure that you actually have 2 open fields, because you're going to use them both right now, and you're going to get yourself another Electromite just to pop off one of the Ariadne so you can get yourself another counter trap. So that's the whole goal right now. But in this case, since I do have a high scale, if I didn't, that means you're going to be getting a bunch of 4s, and then you're still popping the Ariadne. You're just not going to get the monster negations on the field, the monster that have negation effects. But in this case, I'm going to go with the high scale, and Ariadne is going to get popped on the scale, so that's the point here. And now I'm going to Pendulum Summon. Now Pendulum Summon, I have to get one of these, so that's 1 for this spot, 2, and can't use my 3rd one, so I guess I have to use a Luster on this one, so 3. Okay, so I've summoned 3. Effect, I guess, of Supreme King Darkworm. I'm gonna get myself a new copy of the King Gate 0. Which is okay, I guess I have a new scale here. And I have an open slot here. Luster, technically, if you do run like Master or the other dudes, you can actually summon out like what's his face, Ignister, but there's no real point. I'd rather just link these off and get myself another Electromite. Electromite's effect, I'm going to toss a card into the extra deck that I will eventually fetch back, which will be the Harmonizing, hopefully. Or you can put a Chronograph Sorcerer if you're going to go in that direction. Now I'm going to use Electromite's effect, pop Ariadne. Sorry. Now I'm going to link these, overlay these 2 into Absolute Dragon, because I want this in the grave right now. And I'm going to put them all into the grave. So I'm going to link it off into a Decode Talker. effect of Absolute Dragon. I'm gonna summon this up, which is all good. We have Decode Talker, Electromite. We're in a good spot so far. Now, I have not popped yet with this, and I have to really think about how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to use Electromite's effect, pop the Ariadne, add back Harmonizing. With that, I also get myself an additional counter trap search. 1, 2, 3. You're gonna have to give me something I can use here. So most likely it's going to be Ultimate Providence, and these two go back. And now I have this, and this on the scale. I'm ready to go off next turn already with a Harmonizing and a Negate. So that's the board that I'm gonna set up here. I'm sure there's other ways of actually putting on more monsters on board. Probably didn't do it like to the best of my abilities. I'm just trying to freeform these combos, but you can see how I'm able to set up some pretty strong negations on this board. I have target negations to stop the mind controls, and I have the Ultimate Providence to actually stop your card effects from going through. Whether it be your desires, your draw power, these are going to get eaten up for free, and these are basically free for me, so you're not getting pluses either way. And if you try to use targeting negation, the first one is free because I'm getting rid of my Electromite for sure. The second one is going to be negated through here, and you have a third one, then Decode Talker will get rid of the last one. But that means you use 3 mind controls and use 2 other cards, which means, you know what? I'm good with that. But that's just my combo demo here. It might not have been the prettiest of combos. It's been a bit messy since I actually don't play this build very much. I play it online. I have a lot of like online combos I've done with this, which is very annoying for anyone playing against you because having 3 to 4 negations on the board that are pretty generic and that's not specifically targeting related is a pretty fun way to actually stop your opponent from playing any Yu-Gi-Oh at all. Well, that's all I got for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit me with a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to show you guys more stuff this week, and I got a couple discussions I want to talk with you about. Because now that we're in the format for the last 5 weeks now, is it 5 weeks? It's been about 5 weeks. There's some stuff I want to talk about you guys, how you guys feel. And until next time, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job. And you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.